In 2016, Kyle Trask began his college career at Florida, but he didn't start a game for 3 whole years. Even as a junior, Trask had to start the season as the backup to Felipe Franks, but after Franks went down, Trask took his opportunity and ran with it. He led the Gators to a 9-1 record and went on to dominate the following season. Trask was a backup quarterback that wasn't highly rated, getting his chance to take over after an injury to the starter. Sound familiar? Tom Brady made his career in the NFL after being ready for the opportunity to take over, and when the chance struck, he made the most of it. Kyle Trask knows the position, and with Brady being 44 years old for the 2021 NFL season, a retirement is on the horizon, and when that does come, Trask will look to do what he did in college and what Brady did in New England. Take advantage of a golden opportunity. If you're enjoying the video, please help us to 100K by subscribing to the channel and hitting that bell notification so you never miss an upload. There hasn't been a backup position in the NFL more talked about in the past decade than Tom Brady's backup. Their lack of success has been surprising, but a quarterback that has the honor of backing up Brady and learning from Bruce Arians is in a perfect spot. Cue Kyle Trask. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are already in pursuit of Tom Brady's successor, selecting Kyle Trask in the second round of the 2021 NFL Draft, and Brady has already kickstarted his relationship with the former Florida star. Shortly after the draft, Trask told NFL Network that Brady had already reached out to him to try to get together to work out. Trask is getting put in the perfect backup spot. Brady is the perfect guy to sit behind and watch. I think the more important part of this isn't Brady though, it's Bruce Arians. Arians has helped develop some great NFL quarterbacks like Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Andrew Luck, and even Carson Palmer. Arians knows what he's doing, and Trask is definitely going to benefit from that. Trask is the newest of a long list of backups that have gotten to start their career behind Brady. Most recently, Jarrett Stidham. The New England Patriots 2019 fourth-round selection got to spend 1 year under Brady, and since getting a real opportunity, he hasn't exactly been good at all. But overall, when the topic of Brady backups come up, the conversation starts with the Patriots 2014 second rounder, Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo has done the one thing that no other Brady backup has managed to do: start in a Super Bowl. He got to sit behind Brady for over 3 years before he was traded away to the San Francisco 49ers. Garoppolo has had some success, but now he's in a tricky spot with Trey Lance now on the horizon. Once in New England together with Garoppolo, Jacoby Brissett also backed up Brady. The Patriots' 2016 third rounder was traded away to the Indianapolis Colts after spending 1 year with Bill Belichick and company. He got to start for some time, but now he's simply just a backup again for the Miami Dolphins. Garoppolo and Brissett are still doing their thing in the league, but before they were backing up Brady, all the hype was about Ryan Mallett. The Patriots' 2011 third-round pick was New England's backup for 2 years before he was traded away to the Texans. Mallett was shipped away to the Texans basically just to reunite with the former Patriots offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien. Out of all of the Brady backups, it feels like there has been one guy that, no matter what, has been attached to Bill Belichick since entering the league, and that is Brian Hoyer. Hoyer went undrafted in 2009, and he signed with New England. He backed up Brady for 3 years before he ended up going on to start for different teams in the league. Then in 2017, he returned to the Patriots and stayed until he left for the Colts. Post-Brady, Hoyer signed back with the Patriots and is now their veteran quarterback, likely going to help mentor Mac Jones. Perhaps the most successful Brady backup is actually Matt Castle, who got his shot to play the entire 2008 season after Brady went down with a torn ACL and MCL. The Patriots' 2005 7th rounder went 11-5 and played pretty well. With his trade value super high after the season, New England decided to ship him off to the Chiefs along with the now Titans head coach Mike Rabel. Castle wasn't super successful, but he did end up being a journeyman, starting games games for 5 different teams after his time in New England. The only other rookie to play behind Brady was the Patriots' 2002 4th-round pick, Rohan Davey. Davey only completed 8 passes in his pro career, and he was released after Matt Castle beat him out of camp. To be fair to Davey, he's definitely the least successful, but he came into New England when Tom Brady had just taken over as the starting quarterback and really didn't even have his footing in the NFL yet. The Tom Brady backup track record isn't great, but Kyle Trask can definitely break that trend. Brady plus Bruce Arians make a duo that feels like it has the perfect quarterback development group for a youngster. Trask is going to have to be patient behind Brady, but we know that he can do that. He was even the backup in high school, sitting behind Miami quarterback D'Eriq King at Marvel. At every level, this dude has been a backup, and he has to do it again. I think there's actually a lot to unpack here just about Kyle Trask alone. He is one guy specifically that coming into the 2021 NFL draft, I wasn't really a fan of. I think I actually had him lower down in my rankings than most other people. He's just, when I saw his mechanics and everything, I wasn't a gigantic fan. And I felt the same way about Justin Fields, but what I saw similar with both of them is their work ethic, how they've come up and how they've gotten to where they are now. And Kyle Trask is a guy that has been through a lot. Like I mentioned, didn't even start in high school, had a redshirt his first year at Florida, spent 2 years as the backup, and didn't even get a shot to start a game until Felipe Franks went down with an injury. Trask was a guy that was a solid quarterback and was able to take that and turn it into a star during his senior year at Florida, and he completely changed everything for the Gators. Now here we are, and Trask has been put in literally the perfect position, the best position that anybody could be in the NFL right now, and I think Bruce Arians is the huge part of that. Tom Brady is going to treat Kyle Trask like he has treated all of his other backups, and like we've heard from reports over the last years, is that Tom Brady treats these guys like competition. He's nice, he works out with them, and he's good to them, but he also treats them like competition during practice and training camp and whatnot. Even though Tom Brady is the obvious starter, everybody knows that Tom Brady is going to start for Tampa Bay, and even when he was in New England, that's still not how he treated him. It was always an outright competition for Tom Brady, and for Trask to be put in that position where he is now competing with Tom Brady, working out with Tom Brady, learning things from Tom Brady with the guidance of Bruce Arians, I think it's the perfect spot for any quarterback. And I think that really any quarterback that was in the 2021 NFL draft that would be put in this position would be in a great spot. Even if it was a guy like Jamie Newman that went undrafted and signed with the Eagles, I think just getting put in that position is such a leg up on other people. You look at Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson, who are going to teams that are in kind of a mess right now, and then you look over at Kyle Trask, who just got put in a perfect situation where he gets to learn from the greatest quarterback in NFL history and one of the greatest quarterback coaches in NFL history. I don't think that things could get better for Kyle Trask. If you had stock in Kyle Trask rookie cards or were really hoping that he pans out in the NFL, those chances just skyrocketed with him going to the Buccaneers. We saw when Josh Rosen signed with the Buccaneers, people were like, oh man, he's going to learn behind Brady and he's going to be a star. That's just how things go when you have the greatest quarterback of all time and the quarterback whisperer in Bruce Arians. Kyle Trask has a lot of work that needs to be done. He's going to have to work really hard to get there, and who knows how many years he has until Tom Brady actually retires. But for the time being, Kyle Trask is going to be the backup in the NFL to watch. And you don't really pay attention to a lot of backups unless they're a young stud or whatever, and I don't necessarily think Kyle Trask is a super uber talented guy like a Jordan Love in Green Bay. But if he can learn the playbook, if he can do it the right way, and he can learn how to play football the Brady way, then I think Tampa is in a really good spot for the future post Tom Brady. At every level, Kyle Trask has found himself as the backup quarterback. Despite that, here he sits today in one of the best developmental positions in the NFL, sitting behind Tom Brady and learning from Bruce Arians. Trask is likely going to receive more buzz for a backup than we've maybe ever seen, but at the end of the day, all that matters in the end is what Kyle Trask can do post Tom Brady era in Tampa Bay.